俺の名はドン・キホーテ・ドフラミンゴ.
Don Quixote Doflamingo is an eccentric pirate with an evil laugh. He is the puppeteer who pulls the strings from behind the stage of the world, controlling kingdoms, pirates, even the black market. And somehow, despite being pure evil, he's one of the most loved villains in One Piece. For most of us, we see him as a charismatic psychopath, a guy wearing a pink feather coat and with a sinister laugh. The one who sits at the crossroads of three worlds: pirate, government ally, and king. For the underworld, he's Joker, the Shadow King who controls the black market from behind the scenes. Weapons, slaves, artificial devil fruits, everything moves through his hands. For the world government, he is a Shichibukai, a pirate given special privilege to sail without being hunted, treated not as an enemy, but as an ally when it benefits them. And for the people of Dressrosa, Doflamingo is a king who smiles warmly in front of his people, a leader who looks kind, charismatic, and worthy of praise. This is what makes Doflamingo different from most villains. He doesn't exist in only one world. He stands at the intersection of all three: a pirate, Shichibukai, and king. When he moves, the underworld moves. When he falls, the world shakes. We like this character, not just because he's a cool villain, but because his very existence is like the system itself. A corrupt, untouchable system wrapped in a flamingo coat and a smile that never reaches his eyes. But that's just the surface. The swag factor, the strings, the laugh, the power. That's just the beginning. Underneath all of that is something way more disturbing. To understand all of this, we need to know him from the beginning. Dofi was born at the top of the world, a celestial dragon treated like a god. From birth, everything was handed to him: luxury, protection, obedience. In his child mind, that's a normal life. He believed he was different from everyone else. He is superior and untouchable. But everything fell apart when his father made a decision that changed their lives forever. Don Quixote Homing chose to leave the Marijoa and live as an ordinary human. And for Dofi, that decision became the start of hell. Their house was burned. They were hunted, insulted, tortured. Dofi and his brother Rocinante were forced to search for food in trash like an animal. His father begged the celestial dragons to take them back, at least his wife and children, but they refused. Then his mother got sick and died because of the conditions they were living in. And at 10 years old, Dofi killed his own father with his own hands. A child who once lived above everyone now learned that the world is cruel, humans are brutal, and only the strong survive. The thing that makes this tragic is his brother. Rocinante went through the exact same nightmare, but he came out the opposite. After everything he went through, Dofi reached one clear conclusion: this world will never be fair. Justice is not something real, it's something created by whoever wins. He saw it with his own life. His father had good intentions, but those good intentions destroyed their family. The people who tortured them felt justified. Everyone believed they were right, and in the end, a child paid the price for it. That's why his words at Marineford become such a moment. Pirates are called evil, Marines are called justice, but those labels only exist until the result of the battle changes. Whoever stands at the top gets to decide what is right and what is wrong. For Dofi, there is no absolute good or absolute evil. There is only power, interests, and survival. Nietzsche called this moral relativism. The idea that whoever holds power gets to define what justice even means. And after this moment, I'm starting to understand Dofi's point of view. He looks like someone who fully accepted how broken the world really is and decided to play the game better than anyone else. For me, I see Dofi like the Godfather. He built a family like a criminal empire, the mafia in the One Piece world. After losing his real family, he met Diamante, Pika, Vergo, and Trebol, this disgusting creature. They were the ones who stayed with him from the beginning. They treated him like someone destined to be a king, and Dofi rewarded that loyalty by giving them status, power, and a purpose. But this was never a healthy family. It was built on control and not trust. Bellamy is the clearest example. Someone who admired Dofi deeply, who saw him as a role model, yet was still used and discarded without hesitation. The same with Caesar. What makes it tragic is that many of his crew genuinely cared about him. They were willing to die for him. Meanwhile, Dofi himself never fully trusted anyone. He created loyalty around him, but emotionally he stayed alone. Dressrosa looked like a perfect country from the outside. Bright colors, dancing, smiles everywhere, people looked happy and grateful to their king. But that happiness was built on lies. Anyone who opposed Dofi was turned into a toy, their existence erased. Dofi not just controlling something or someone, he's erasing someone from the world entirely. So when you look back, Dressrosa feels personal to Dofi. It reflects who he is. On the surface, charm, style, confidence, and big fat smile. Underneath, fear, suffering, control, and manipulation. He didn't rule with pure violence, he ruled with illusion. He made people love him while they were trapped inside his cage. And for him, that was the ultimate form of control. Machiavelli would be proud. The kingdom looked like paradise, but it was just another string he pulled. The war in Dressrosa was not just about Luffy beating Mingo's ass. When Dofi activated Birdcage, it felt like his final message to everyone. If he was going down, everyone was going down with him. The entire country was slowly being crushed while people were forced to choose, submit to him or die together with the rebels. That moment showed his real nature. He is someone who would rather destroy everything than lose everything. And when Luffy finally defeated him, it felt like Oda wanted to show something far bigger than just this character's downfall. When Dofi fell, the world became unstable. The black market collapsed, weapon trade stopped, smile production ended, Kaido lost his supply. The balance between major powers started to crack. The crazy thing is, Dofi is not just a villain to move on from. He's not a mere stepping stone like in other shows. He was a pillar in a rotten system. When he fell, it exposed how dependent the world already was on corruption. Psychologically, this makes a lot of sense. People like Dofi thrive in broken systems. When rules are unclear and power is everything, the most manipulative person often rises to the top. Some individuals learn early that control is safer than trust, so they build their entire identity around dominance, strategy, and emotional distance. Dofi is scary for a reason. He's what happens when bad childhood meets intelligence inside a broken world. All of this connects back to everything he believed. Power decides truth. The strongest controls the story. His fall proves that idea. When he was in control, the world moved according to his strings. When he lost, the entire structure collapsed because his role within the system was absolutely crucial. Dofi is locked in Impel Down, but his story doesn't feel finished. He knows too much. He understands how fragile the world government really is. And the way he laughs in prison feels like someone who knows the system will eventually collapse. And this is why Dofi works so well as a character. He feels realistic. He's proof that broken systems create broken people. And broken people with intelligence can create frightening things. If I got something wrong, correct me in the comments, and tell me what character we should deep dive next. If you enjoyed this kind of breakdown, you can support the channel by dropping a like, subscribe, and turning on the bell so you don't miss future videos. Thank you for watching. Seriously.